Hello class 10th students. Today we are going to start the chapter resources and development. So what is a resource? As you all studied earlier in class 8, because class 8 first geography chapter, that is resources. You all know, but I'll tell you that what is a resource? Resource is the thing that satisfy our needs and have the value and utility that become a resource. So what is a resource? Everything available in our environment which can be used to satisfy our needs. That is called the resource. Everything available in our environment which can be used to satisfy our needs, provided it is technological accessible and economically feasible and culturally acceptable, can be termed as resource. Here is the relation between the physical environment, technology and institution. Physical environment, that is the nature. Technology with the techniques, and the institution are the families and other communities. These are the institutions. So human beings interacted with the physical environment, that is the nature, with the help of technology or through technology to form the institutions, to create institutions. So resources are a function of human activities. Here is the classification of resources. Resources can be classified into two: natural and human made. Natural divided into renewable and non-renewable, then renewable divided into continuous or flow, that is the wind and water. Then biological divided into two, that is the natural and wildlife. Here non-renewable divided into recyclable and non-recyclable, and the human, that divided into structures and institutions and quantity and quality. Now further, there are types of resources. First, on the basis of origin, biotic and abiotic resources. Then on the basis of exhaustibility, renewable resources, non-renewable resources. Then on the basis of ownership, individual resources, community owned resources, natural resources, international resources. And on the basis of development, potential resources, developed resources, stock and reserves. First of all, on the basis of origin, biotic resources that are obtained from the nature or biosphere and have life. Example, human beings, flora and fauna, fisheries, livestock, etc. Then abiotic resources, those are made from non-living things, are called biotic resources. Example, rocks and metals. So biotic are obtained from the living beings and abiotic from the non-living beings. Now on the basis of exhaustibility, renewable resources that can be renewed or reproduced by the physical, chemical or mechanical processes, solar and wind energy, water, forest, wildlife. And the non-renewable resources, these occur over a long geological time. Minerals and fossil fuels are example of such resources. So renewable, that can be easily renewed, and non-renewable, that cannot be renewed. And what happened, that there is thousands of years take to renew it. Now on the basis of ownership, individual resources, these are owned by individual, means if I own something, that is the individual resource. If you own something, that is the individual resource, like the land, houses, plantation, ponds, etc. Then the community owned resources that are accessible to all members of the community, like the public parks, ponds, picnic spots, playgrounds, etc. that is used by everyone. Now national resources, All the resources belong to the nation. All the minerals, water resources, forest, wildlife, land within the political boundaries and oceanic area up to the 12 nautical miles from the coast term as territorial water and resources therein belong to the nation. Now what? The international resources. The oceanic resources beyond 200 nautical miles of the exclusive economic zone are termed as international resources. No individual country can utilize these without the concurrence of international institution. So national resources that only used by the nation, okay, but international resources used by all the countries. Example here, that is the exclusive economic zone. So what that is exclusive economic zone? Here is a picture of the exclusive economic zone. Here territorial sea 12 nautical miles from baseline, that is the national. Here we can use the national resources. But you see that exclusive economic zone up to 200 nautical miles from baseline. That is only in that area countries can mine out the resources, the minerals, okay, and after that the area comes, that is the high sea. Now on the basis of the status of development, first the potential resources that found in a region but not have been utilized. For example, wind and solar energy. In Gujarat and Rajasthan, what we observe that there are various potential resources like the solar energy, wind energy, but that not been utilized. So what it is called, the potential resources. Next one is the developed resources. What the developed resources? That which are surveyed and their quality and quantity determined for utilization, means that we know the quantity and quality of the developed resources. Now what are the stocks? Materials in the environment which have the potential to satisfy human needs, but human beings do not have the appropriate technology to access these. For example, water is a compound of two inflammable gases, hydrogen and oxygen, which can be used as a rich source of energy, but we do not have the required technical know-how to use them for this purpose. Fourth one is here, that is reserves are the subset of the stock which can be put into use with the help of existing technical know-how, but their use has not been started. This can be used for meeting future requirements. River water can be used for generating hydroelectric power, but presently it is being utilized only to a limited extent. Thus the water in the dams, forests, etc. are reserve which can be used in future. So reserve means that we used in future. Somewhere we use it but in a limited manner, and what reserves are for the requirements of the future generation. Now the development of resources. It was believed that resources are free gifts of nature, and indiscriminate use of these resources what led to the following major problems. What following major problems? That is the depletion of resources, means it is enough for pupils' need but not for pupils' greed, as Mahatma Gandhi said. Okay, so what if we are using excessively, then it is the depletion of resources. Then accumulation of resources in few hands. If resources are only in the few hands, then what happened, that the society divided into the haves not and have, means the rich and poor. Indiscriminate exploitation of resources has led to the global ecological crisis such as the global warming, ozone layer depletion, environment pollution, land degradation, and etc. If we are indiscriminately using the resources, exploiting the resources, then what happens? These type of problems we face. Now, the sustainable development. Sustainable economic development means that we use the resources in that manner that can be safe for the future generation. Development should take place without damaging the environment. Development in the present should not compromise the needs of the future generation. Now you can see here that for this environment concern, what that Rio de Janeiro Earth Summit was happened in 1992, in June 1992. More than 100 heads of states met in Rio de Janeiro in Brazil for the first International Earth Summit. The summit was convened for addressing urgent problems of environmental protection and the socio-economic development at the global level. The assembled leaders signed the Declaration on Global Climatic Change and the Biological Diversity. The Rio de Janeiro Convention that the Global Forest Principle and adopted Agenda 21 for achieving sustainable development in the 21st century. Means now that all are adopting what? Agenda 21. For what? For the climate change. Now that is Agenda 21. It is a declaration signed by world leaders in 1992 at the United Nations Conference on Environment and Development, which took place at Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. What aim? Aim is global sustainable development. This agenda is combat environmental damage, poverty, disease through global cooperation on common interest, mutual needs and shared responsibilities. One major objective of the Agenda 21 is that every local government should draw its own local Agenda 21. Means that what are the conditions of your country, of your place, that you can draw according to the draw according to the Agenda 21. Means your agenda is according to your problems. Now come to the topic that resource planning in India. There are 3 steps in the resource planning. That first is the identification and inventory of resources across the region of the country. Means that first of all we identify the resources. And how can we identify? We identify it by surveying, mapping and qualitative and quantitative estimation and the measurement of the resources. Then after the identification, what? Evolving a planning structure, made a planning structure with the appropriate technology, skill and institutional setup. And after that, what? Matching the resource development plans with the overall national development plans. Means that what? That after identification, making the plan with the technology skills and the institutional setup, and now that plan should be matched with the national development plan. Now here comes conservation of resources. Resources are vital for any developmental activity. And how we conserve? That irrational consumption and overutilization, what? That led to the social, economic and the environmental problems. And here the word saying that there is enough for everybody's need and not for anybody's greed. Means it is enough for everyone's satisfaction, everyone's needs to satisfy, but not the greed. Then greedy and selfish individuals, what? Exploit the nature with the help of the modern technology. And what? That is against the mass production and the production by the mass. Now here the land resources. That first of all, plains, about 43% of the land area, provided facilities for agriculture and industry. Mountains, about 30% of the total surface area, ensure perennial flow of some rivers, provide facilities for tourism and ecological aspects. plateau about 27% of the total area, possesses rich reserves of minerals, fossil fuels and forests. So what that plains, mountains and plateaus, that 43%, 30% and 27%, both are having the qualities, but here plains are those who provide facilities for agriculture and industry, which is very much required what for the population. So in plains we see that lots of population is living. Now here land utilization. Land resources are used for the following purposes. First, the forest. Second, land not available for cultivation, means that the land that cannot be cultivated. Barren and wasteland, land put to non-agriculture uses like the building, roads, factories. Other that uncultivated land, excluding fallow land, permanent pastures and grazing land, land under miscellaneous tree crops groves not included in net zone area, cultivable wasteland left uncultivated for more than 5 agriculture years, fallow lands, current fallow left without cultivation for 1 or less than 1 agriculture year, other than current fallow left uncultivated for the past 1 to 5 agriculture years. Net sown area means the area sown more than once in an agriculture year plus net sown area is known as gross cropped area. Now the land use pattern in India. The use of land is determined by the physical factors and human factors. Physical factors, that is the topography, climate, soil types, and the human factors, that is the population density, technological capability, cultural and traditions. Total geographical area of India is 3.28 million square kilometer. Forest area 21% in the country is far lower than the desired 33% of the geographical area as it was outlined in National Forest Policy 1952. Now here comes the causes of land degradation. What? The deforestation, mining sites are abandoned after excavation. Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh and Odisha, deforestation due to mining. Gujarat, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh and Maharashtra, overgrazing. Punjab, Haryana, West